Hello everybody, this is Plywood Cow coming at you with another world record speedrun, this time Space Jam, A New Legacy, the game, on Xbox Series X. Cardless hard mode difficulty. Any percent, apparently as well. I would just call it cardless hard. Done in 19 minutes and 57 seconds. Well, this is the best kind of world record there is because there are no other runs of this category. And when that happens, you're simultaneously the best player in a category and the worst player in a category. Truly a polar opposite kind of situation. Paradoxical, yes, it's true. An innovator. All that fun stuff. This is definitely the hardest category to run solo in the whole game because you have no special powers, and in certain fights, particularly the final fight, I ain't talking about the game, I'm talking about the final fight of this run. Between the factors of hard mode increasing all the HP of the minions and the chances that you're going to be losing lives throughout this run, it gets pretty brutal. The strength card really helps your DPS in this category, rather this difficulty. And so, you need to play very carefully. Play patiently, like the tortoise. Don't rush into things like the hare. I know we're playing as a bunny, but that's just because Bugs is the fastest character. You don't want to actually be too speedy in this category because you'll probably end up game overing. And of course, you can always continue or run. Like, that's completely fine, but if we can avoid it, we'd rather not. Before this run, I actually had a 20:03, but that had a death. I think it had a game over, so I had to reset. Actually, no, wait a minute. Now I remember. That was the run before the 20:03. Then I just wanted to get a sub 20. The thing about with speedrunning, when you're the one starting a category, starting a competition, so to speak, is that you set the table for some kind of standard. And this is the category that I actually kind of cared the least about, since no one's done a run of it yet. And so, also just because it's just tough. This is a tough category to run effectively. The RNG factor is quite high due to the higher HP values of enemies and your lack of cards. But the thing that's beneficial about running a category like this is it really forces you to have good fundamentals. You focus on your fundamental gameplay in terms of how to play the game. So on that level, it is helpful, but I certainly wouldn't suggest it. Style points! It's the best thing about running this game, is getting style points. Is style points really the fastest thing to do? Typically, probably not, but it is really funny. This is one of the perks of playing a game that actually has a point system. You can have style points, and you can have LeBron James telling you that you were stylish. I mean, what could be better? King James telling you you are styling. this run was done before my any percent hard run, where I would use a spin to clear out the barrels at the end. That would be faster, but this was still a really good end to the elevator. There's always these little details, even in a game that's simple like this one. And from doing a extensive set of runs, and by extensive I mean like, I may have spent about 15 hours on this game in total, trying to test things and play it over and over again. You learn things about how to approach every screen, how to interact with each of the enemies from watching their behavior, and also recognizing like, hey, this is where I need to stand to throw the ball in this certain way, all that. Like, you can actually run past those mine carts if you have the position correctly. You don't have to jump over them, but the positioning is pretty strict. So I don't typically go for it. I just go for jumping over the mine carts. Another thing that I thought about, which again is not for Cardless, but is about the hard run, is using Roadrunner, because Roadrunner makes you move faster, but the utility of that is very limited. You only run right for long periods of time, a handful of times throughout the run, and you have to spend the time to use the card. So I just don't think it's worth it. If card uses were instantaneous, maybe it would be helpful. Maybe it would end up saving some time, but it's also an opportunity cost issue. And that opportunity cost being that you're not using a different card. Alright, it's your boy, Anthony Davis. Fortunately, he went straight for the middle, but that's okay. We'll get him going on the loop as well as we can. He's being a jerk, though. This is where I'd like to know what I could do to get the loop started consistently in the full game run so that he gets stuck. Once you get it going, though, it's pretty easy to maintain. Shoutouts to the cheese cactus, of course. This is a great place to do spins because the cactus gives you full life and then some, because it's trying to heal your whole team if you have a team. I don't know, like, it seems to me that they balance this game around one player, not so much three players, in a certain way. Because the challenge level on one player seems pretty reasonable, and if you have three people hitting the same group of enemies, if you know what you're doing, you're walloping everybody. It would be cool to see if I could have two clones of myself. Well, I would have some problems because I think I would annoy myself to no end, but if I had a couple of clones of myself, I think original difficulty could be under 15 minutes if you're well coordinated, because the DPS is crazy. There we go, got the barrel trick. Love to see it. You'll love to see it. I will give this game credit that everything feels good. The big annoying thing to me is just accidentally doing a jump kick when you meant to do an AoE spin and vice versa. Thankfully, for the most part in this run, you don't use the AoE spin that much. Nice use of the... It looks like the flamethrower... The first few frames of the animation do not hurt you. I don't know if it's just like there's a startup time where the flamethrower just doesn't work, or you actually just don't... The game gives you a little bit of a courtesy with the flamethrower. I'm not sure, but it's a nice little trick. I really like the visual design of this level too. So Looney Tunes. Honestly, this game is, I mean, while it is fun, visually it's what I think the aesthetics of this game are great. Well, Diana Taurasi is definitely more annoying on Cardless Hard because we don't have the HP to play around with. Now, you could do some spinning. You have to be careful about your HP. It's good to have as many lives going into this level as possible on this difficulty, especially without cards. I've never connect the kick with the bones. I think I'm just not going high enough. So if you're trying to do that, I think you just need to sort of curve around the egg. Because ideally you would get the bones and activate the wave of nulls at the same time. But it's a bit tricky. Once again, employing the stay to the left side of the screen so all the enemies, the other enemies on the right side, group up together. So there, I don't know, like, juggling that null is probably unnecessary. It's still the case that we want to take out the bucket as soon as possible. If you take out the bucket last, it's going to take longer for you to go to the next screen. That's because you have to wait out, excuse me, you have to wait out the animation of the bucket dying, and I think it's slower than the typical knockback animation that you get for the other enemies. I don't know by how much, but it seems like it's slower. Might be half a second or a second or something. Not huge, but again, this game's short, so any second lost or gained is a big deal. A little early on that launch. Didn't get the air combo. There you go. Took out at least one of those mines. Want to take out those mines. Let's see if we can get this strat. See, that's the problem with not having that mine taken out, because I couldn't walk on top of it. It's okay. Another really... It's kind of hard to achieve, but if you can hit an enemy with the fourth hit of the combo, which in Bugs Bunny's case is that mace. The mace does more damage, so the fourth hit does more damage than the first 3 hits. So if you can accidentally, I wouldn't say accidentally, sort of a happy accident, right? Hit an enemy with that mace when they're approaching while you're hitting another enemy, it's nice because they're going to be a little bit weaker. At least I believe that is the case. That it does more damage. We don't get health values, so unless someone, you know, we're not quite at the point of Xbox One emulation. Give that 10 years, we'll see. I know there is some work being done, but I mean, even OG Xbox and 360 emulation are not exactly where they need to be. The Xbox consoles, the Xbox consoles are in a weird spot where people figured out pretty quickly how to modify and screw with them and to make backups, but the emulation scene has not been quite as strong as GameCube, Nintendo, PS2, Sony. And I know some of that may come down to how like Microsoft has handled emulation, like an omelet, egg omelet. But I think the other reason for that is it's just not as popular. Solid loop. We come into the final boss with 2 lives, which is great. I mean, the first life is easily going to be lost, but that's okay.
It's my game now.
Now, if you're going to lose this life, don't lose it during the algorithm part. Lose it on the wave, if you can help it, because at least one of the times when I did it, it seemed that what ended up happening was the attack got interrupted and then we had to go through another attack again. Maybe by taking a death you can manipulate the RNG, but I know, oh my gosh, my throat is being really weird, apologies. I know though that if you do it while you're fighting the enemies, then they're going to get knocked back, which is a good form of crowd control. And thankfully, because we don't have cards, the whole thing of being concerned about our HP, it's only really relevant for the AoE spin. And we continue on with phase 2. Once again, this boss is way more random on the cardless difficulties because we don't have cards to speed up this portion. If you have the strength card, you can take out this the fist sooner and potentially avoid more attacks from Algae Rhythm. Don Cheadle. Of course, it doesn't look like Don Cheadle, but apparently Don Cheadle's in that robot. We gotta bonk him out. Alright, cleared phase 2. We have decent HP. If you come into this fight with only 1 life on this category, you're probably in for a world of pain. Or you have to play very well. Pretty sloppy here. Getting hit by the hand swipe does a lot of damage. Don't want that happening. Throws off all the mojo. So if you're not connecting that jump kick, this whole thing's gonna get extended. And here we go, final wave. A huge pain in the butt when you don't have an AoE spin to open. Starting with an AoE spin means that the enemies on the right side, which involve a prime, get knocked away. and that is a big deal. For some reason, when the Prime choked me, it did no damage. I have no idea why. Very confusing. But we're done. Just get into position to throw that ball, and we're there. Cardless hard. It's a thing. It exists. It now officially exists. We did not need cards. We just needed strong fundamentals. Like a basketball game. No gimmicks, no tricks. Just solid play. Good fundamentals out there. Great job out there. From Coach Plywood. And that's going to conclude all of the full game runs. I do have the boss rush records, but I kind of consider those individual level runs, sort of, kind of. It's not the main game, it's a side mode. I am glad to have swept this whole board when it comes to one-player gameplay. If you would like to learn this game, feel free to take a look at my notes below, and you too can download this game for free on the Xbox Store to play on your Xbox One or Xbox Series console. So do check it out if you're interested, and I will catch you all next time. Take care, be safe, and watch some cartoons.
That's all, folks.